In New Zealand, a country close adjacent to Melanesia, inhabited by men who were ignorant of agriculture and having no other domestic animal than the dog, anthropophagy was practiced without the slightest feeling of shame. The New Zealand tribes, constantly at war one with the other, would go hundreds of miles into the interior to fight, merely that they might feed themselves upon human flesh, or to capture slaves, generally intended to appear as the plat de résistance at the great feasts which they prepared for their parents or their friends, either immediately before setting out upon a campaign, or else upon some occasion of unusual rejoicing. The New Zealanders were very partial to the flesh of women and of children. On the field of battle they would pull to pieces one of the enemy taken prisoner or wounded, without even waiting until he was dead, or giving themselves the trouble to kill him. They had progressed so far that they did not eat the bodies of men of their own tribe, and they would not touch those who had died of sickness. But they most conscientiously made use of the whole of the body they did take, and they were careful also to perforate the cranium so as to extract the cerebral substance. Contrary to the customs in the other archipelagos, the New Zealand women used often to take part in these cannibal festivals. This custom, which appears to be horrible to Europeans of our own time, was natural enough to the New Zealanders. To eat one's enemies, who they said would have eaten them instead if they had been victorious, was in their eyes legitimate enough. Judicial laws and religious ideas formed part of this theory of cannibalism. If a chief was killed, the people had the right to exact that his wife should share the same fate. She was given over to the conquerors, who put her to death. Then the bodies, when they were roasted, were eaten with great unction under the direction of the priests or the arikis, who first tasted some of the dainty bits cut out of the victims. They attached great importance to eating the left eye of their conquered enemy, for the soul of the departed, the waidoa, was placed in this eye, and therefore in eating that they doubled their own existence. In New Zealand, religion had sanctified cannibalism, as it everywhere sanctifies the dominant inclinations of any race of people, but the fundamental reason for cannibalism in New Zealand was the desire to eat meat. To these poor islanders, often half-starved with hunger, as they had no mammalia to kill for the purposes of food, flesh, in whatever form it came, seemed to be delightful. A soft-mannered and most affable chief said to the traveller earl, "Human flesh is as soft as paper."